Welcome, Mega Mafia, to another exciting episode of the MegaCast. This is Joshua, Joe, and I, joined here by the Professor and joined here by Samaya. Guys, we are back here with another exciting episode. And if you haven't already, if this is your first time watching the MegaCast, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But if you are back, welcome back. And make sure you turn on that bell notification so that way you don't miss any of the episodes, and also the Professor giving some one-on-one interviews.
All right, lots been going on in Mega Championship Wrestling. How about you let us know what's been going on Turmoil, Josh?
Well, before we go on to talk about Tuesday Turmoil, we want to give a big congratulations to Bryson Teller for making a AEW special, debut. What a way to make a debut on All Elite Championship, All Elite Wrestling, representing Mega Championship Wrestling. And let me tell you something, Mr. Teller is a performer you do not want to miss at all. But if you haven't checked out Tuesday's Tuesday's Dynamite, it was a special episode, and we saw a familiar face by the name of Bryson Teller. Congratulations, Bryson Teller, and hopefully big things are going to lead up to you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's talk about Tuesday Turmoil. October 18th, this past Tuesday Turmoil, depending on when you've seen it or watching this as well. This past Tuesday Turmoil, make sure you go onto the Facebook page of Mega Championship Wrestling, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you like that page and make sure you notify everyone what Tuesday Turmoil is all about. But this past Tuesday Turmoil had an interesting, I would say. We saw the tag team action where we saw Cash Inc., Skylar and Gavin defeating Crumbles and Blaze to retain their Mega Tag Team champs, thanks to not only Ken Vasion, but Sebastian LeShawn. A little questionable what Sebastian LeShawn is trying to do, getting in the side of the brains of both Crumbles and Blaze, and it looks like the Mega Church is not done with the Rat Pack.
Yeah, I'm sure the Mega Church is still not over the fact that they lost to them at Who You Gonna Call, so they're probably looking for a bit of payback.
Absolutely. Who You're Gonna Call was a successful pay-per-view, and what we saw what LeShawn did, things are just getting the tables turned in a way. But we have to move on for a little bit because you see, I don't know what Pastor CeeLo and Butchie B and Sebastian LeShawn are doing to poor Raven. We saw Raven being like a zombie in a way, like just seemed like very much brainwashed at Who You're Gonna Call. Very questionable what Sebastian did to Raven by kidnapping Raven. It's very disturbing to see that.
It was very disturbing. I mean, but Raven was missing for like a few weeks prior to the show, yeah?
Absolutely.
So who knows what happened?
Yeah, Raven needs to watch who he hangs around with. He was hanging around with that reprobate Arg the Pirate for a while, and I don't think that was good for his career or his liver. And he was with Chris, and they were with Chris Yeager as pledges in whatever the name of their ridiculous fraternity was. I don't even remember it at this point. And now he seems to be involved with the Mega Church. So Raven has a lot of potential, but I fear for his future.
Absolutely. I mean, what we saw last week on Tuesday Turmoil, we saw a different Raven. Like, for some reason, I guess Sebastian has like somewhat of a spell to do some harm to opponents. It's kind of questionable. Like, really, like Raven is really not up there at all. Everything is, the lights are on, but nobody's home really.
Was anyone ever really home?
Fair enough, but the Mega Church, I mean, I do not want to be involved in that aspect. I mean, who knows? They might do something to me, and I do not want to be a part of that.
Well, Samaya, you know Sebastian as well as anyone in Mega Championship Wrestling. What do you think his power is over Raven?
I feel like we shouldn't ask questions about things that we won't understand.
Fair enough.
So no comment.
Okay.
But if we understood him, we wouldn't need to ask questions.
Professor's got a
Um,
point.
I personally feel like his power is um I can't answer that. I really can't. It's a secret. Sorry.
I mean, secrets are not meant to be broken, but I can understand that.
Mhm.
But speaking of which, we saw Kalam preparing himself in a triple threat contest, taking on DLA and Arg, the pirate, being victorious. What a performance by Kalam. I mean, he had a outstanding performance when he took on Big Mo for the Infinity Championship. But those two beat the holy hell out of each other. I apologize, Professor. I know you don't want to talk about it, but it was a physical contest between those two at who you're going to call.
Absolutely. Kalam showed not only his power and his wrestling skill, but his agility for someone his size. You know all those fancy names for these wrestling moves. I don't, but he did sort of a springboard off the one rope up to an enziguri, maybe. I don't know. That there's video of it somewhere online, and to think that this isn't a cruiserweight. Kalam is definitely in the heavyweight division, and for him to pull off a move like that, it really testifies to his skill. I mean, I've known it all along what a tremendous competitor and athlete he was, and I still expect even better things. He's done great in the past, and he'll continue to rise. I think to further heights.
It was a great showcase, and I definitely feel like Mo has to look over his shoulder now.
Most definitely. I mean, Kalam, he's been having a little bit of a roller coaster of a year, really. Some wins, some losses. But Big Mo, he's been shipping the sail, like sailing very high. He's been taking on challengers from Jonesy, from Tyreek Alam as well. But you see, Mo has won that Infinity title in the beginning of this year, dating back in cold blooded, and he's showing why he is here to stay, and he's a force to be not reckoned with. But Kalam is in the same level as Mo, even though they're partners and they're brothers. They're at the same level. And Kalam, he was so inches away from taking that title from Big Mo. But Big Mo and Tyreek Kalam both ended in a double count out. We had to get security to split those guys up. But even more, security was too much to not handle those two. We had to send Brandon Xavier to break those two apart.
The security was worthless.
I felt like I felt like the security were like the hall monitors, and when Brandon Xavier came, it was the principal or the vice principal coming down to take care of business, and he did. And both of them had a great match. Both of them are tremendously skilled. I can't pick a favorite between the two of them, but both of them need to be concerned about their opponent for Night of Champions of Bill Collier, who is a big fella himself and a veteran of the squared circle. And that's sort of their reward or punishment, depending on your perspective, for having such a great match at who you're going to call.
It might just even the playing field, though.
Most definitely, but let's not forget, Big Mo does not need to be pinned nor submitted. He can lose the title at any time, and he has to make sure he stays in the ring to make sure his title doesn't go away. We could see alliances form, and we may not see alliances quickly disband because it's only for that one title, and one of those three guys could walk away with it.
I feel like a floating head here. My sweater is disappearing. I think actually that would be ideal if I was just a floating head on the screen somewhere. That's how I want to live the rest of my days. But anyhow, yes, onward and upward.
Well, speaking of which, on this past Tuesday Turmoil, in our main event, speaking of Sebastian LeShawn, he put on that brass knuckles championship on the line, champion on the line against, it was supposed to be Jimmy Jammer, and Jammer was not dressed to compete, but out his place, but in his place goes Norm. Norm stepped up to the plate. I was kind of questionable about that because Norm, we really don't see Norm in the ring that very much. We've seen him at the triple threat tag team title match before, but we never seen a showcase of Norm. But surprisingly, Norm was victorious thanks to Sean Blaze and Mr. Crummels. They both got sweet taste of revenge on Sebastian LeShawn, costing LeShawn the matchup and making Norm the brand new Brass Knuckles champion.
I'll bet you never expected you'd be hearing yourself say that.
I really did not expect that at all, to be honest. But here for me, as much as I don't have a good liking in Norm, I want to say this to Norm. So Norm, if you're listening to this, you can screen record this, you can do whatever you want. Please hear me out. I sincerely want to apologize to Norm for all the times that we had a hiccup in the road. Norm, I am sorry for giving you so much hatred and so much, I don't know how to do this, but I am sorry for, I'm biting my words and I take everything back what I said about you. You have proved yourself a lot. You're not that bad of a guy. The first time, it's like what we did when we first met. You were not a bad guy when I first interact with you, but now here you are being victorious. And what a great birthday present for him to be the Brass Knuckles champion.
Are you just saying that because Blaze and Crumbles beat up Sebastian?
No, I'm just no.
Are you scared?
No. I'm just saying. I want to say I'm sorry to Norm because Norm is just proving why he doesn't want the party posse to be done. And you know what? Here he is having a big victory over Sebastian LeShawn. I don't know how that's going to sit well with the mega church, if you ask me, because you see, the mega church had that Brass Knuckles title in their possession, and now Norm is victorious, and he has something that the mega church was holding in possession. Not anymore.
He might be the next Raven. Oops.
Oh, are you trying to apply something? Are you saying that Sebastian may kidnap Norm?
I mean, trunks don't have names on them.
Wow.
Well,
are we gonna see you and Norm hug it out at Night of Champions?
it all depends, really. I'll give him a cookie to start things off, and if everything is good still, hopefully everything is good with us. And you know what? If it would make you feel better, we may see a hug.
It'll be interesting to see what the megachurch does next, because yes, they I'm sure they are interested in recapturing their not their but the Brass Knuckles title, but it seems like they very much have on their mind Crummels and Blaze, and when he returns, Joey Vincent Martini, and if he returns, Gangrel even. So they have some paybacks to dish out there. So it'll be interested what their focus is. Plus, there's always a chance that they may go for the tag team championship, or any singles championship with those people on them, especially Sebastian and Butchie B. CeeLo, I'm sorry, but is always a little shifty. And he was a former Brass Knuckles champion prior to that, and so was Butchie B. So you're right, all three of them held that title. And I'm sort of rambling, but what I'm saying is I think big things are ahead for the mega church, and it's just they're going to have to pick their battles and decide what they're most interested in.
Most definitely. I mean, we see Cashing having all the titles, but we could see for the mega church maybe they could just dethrone. You never know. We could see the megachurch dethrone Cash Inc. And I'm a little afraid because we may have to dress up more on the podcast. I may have to put on the bow tie and everything if Pastor CeeLo wants to enhance some dress code. You never know with Pastor CeeLo. Everything gets to his head a lot. I mean, he was dressed as Blade I mean, he watched one Blade movie and then all of a sudden he's a vampire hunter.
But he still lost.
Yes, basically. But speaking of which, December 10th is our next event for Mega Championship Wrestling. It is Night of Champions. At this time of the recording, we have 2 matches announced so far, but make sure 5 o'clock is when the show starts. 4:30 doors will be open. Be sure to get your tickets now. Be sure to tell your neighbors, tell your coworkers, tell your family, tell your friends. I mean, whoever you want to tell about Mega Championship Wrestling, you have to, the voice is yours, really, to show off what we're all about. And if you want to sponsor a match, be sure to contact us at megachampionshipwrestling@gmail.com. So that way you can have a sponsor for the matches that will be announced. But the 2 matches that have been announced so far, we have the main event taking on Cash Inc. We have Jones and Davis. They've been all around the world, and well, they want to add Diddy's tag team gold from Mega to their resume. But Skylar and Gavin, they're always up for a challenge. They're always at the gym 24/7. We saw Gavin making his return to Tuesday Turmoil last week, but now he's here to stay with his partner Skylar. I mean, Skylar has been kind of on the edge, losing to RJ and Josie, but Skylar and Gavin, they are always in the gym no matter what, but they are always up to study their opponents. They take on so many people from the tag division, and what a way to face the main event.
Wait, can we hold that thought? My cat is like, she keeps meowing every time she hears you.
The cat is taking over.
Every time you talk, she keeps meowing.
Yes, the main event is one of the top tag teams in the region, if not the country. And they've been in Mega before, and they are 2 tremendous athletes, 2 very intelligent competitors, and Cash Inc. is going to be tested to their limit, I think, going to be stretched to their limit. Of course, there's always a wild card of Ken Vasion. As much as it pains me to say it, Ken Vasion gets results and gets victories. He's been on a roll, him and the other members of Cash Inc. And that could be the deciding factor.
I personally feel like Ken Vasion doesn't get results. He's just a consistent cheater. I feel like those are 2 different things.
You have a point right there, Samaya. You do have a point, because what happened at Who You're Gonna Call between Chase Owens and Ashton Day, what a match of the night that was at Who You're Gonna Call. Everybody was on their feet, and everybody thought that Chase Owens got the Mega World Championship around his waist, and then the referee had to reverse the decision due to Ashton Day using a foreign object and not stuffing it in his tights, but stuffing the foreign object in Chase Owens's tights. Our referee of the main event, Nick, had to check to see what was, well, quote unquote, Chase Owens' foreign object in his tights, and had to reverse the decision, unfortunately. And we almost had a riot in our hands, guys. I was terrified behind the desk because the fans were not happy. Everybody was happy to see Chase Owens being victorious. But when the referee had to reverse that decision, it unfortunately breaks everybody's heart.
Yeah, that was a terrible night. Chase Owens, in my mind, is the Mega Champion. And I know that doesn't count for anything because Ashton Day still has the title. But, he won it fair and square. He did give Ken his comeuppance, which I'm sure gave him a bit of satisfaction. But, you don't mess with members of the Bullet Club. And I have a feeling that when Chase Owens is back around, things could be very different for Ashton Day and Cash Inc.
Most definitely. And
oops, sorry.
Oh, no, I was gonna say most definitely. As you were saying, Samaya, sorry to cut you off.
It was definitely an injustice and a roller coaster of emotions because I really was cheering. It was like cheering for Owens, but then I'm like, okay, threw me for a loop, I guess.
Most definitely. And of course, the Infinity Championship will be on the line. Triple threat contest, as we talked about before. Mo, Kalam, and Bill. all three big guys are going to be in the middle of that ring. And, Mo, he could be counting down his days of being that Infinity title. You never know. Kalam might do it, or we might see Bill walking away with that. But Mo he's always up for a challenge. He won the title to begin with of the beginning of the year, as I said earlier, by defeating Defarge, Paxton Calloway, and Jackson Stone. He's always up for a challenge. So you never know what Big Mo could pull from his sleeves. And that wild card coming to play, sorry to use that line that the professor used about Ken, but that wild card for Big Mo, he could use it at any moment.
Indeed.
But now we got to talk about what happened on Tuesday Turmoil. Brandon Xavier, words can't describe how I feel about this, because Brandon Xavier was called out by Mike Michaels. Guys, it was truly disgusting to see what Mike Michaels did to Brandon Xavier. I tried to call Mikey. I tried to text Mikey, and he left me on red. He sent me the voicemail. So I had to make a Facebook status to post it on public. Not trying to blast Mikey at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to blast Mikey, but I'm trying to look out for him, because he's got a career and he's making a name for himself these past Tuesday Turmoils, taking on challenges. But what he did was truly, truly something that we will never see the light of day, really. I'm surprised Mikey is not facing a fine. I'm surprised Mikey's not facing a suspension. I'm surprised Mikey is still employed with us, to be honest.
He might pay for it during their match. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a jeopardy in his career. But just to show you guys what happened on Tuesday Turmoil, October 18th, bear with us. It's disturbing footage, and we're going to show everybody here for the Mega Mafia. If you missed Tuesday Turmoil, we're going to show you everything what happened between those two. But from Josh, Samaya, and the professor, we are signing off. Here's the footage. We'll catch you next time on the MegaCast.
Okay. Challenges. What the hell's happened to you? I'm the Bull Rope Bully, damn it! I'm Mike Michaels because you told me to be Mike Michaels. And in December at Night of Champions, I'm gonna show you who the hell Mike